So let's create this function, private func remove location from saved locations, and we want to pass our location that we want to remove. I say location, and this is going to be a string. And here we are going to call this, so we have only the city name. We don't have to pass a location object here. So I'm going to call this function, remove location from saved location, and our location will be our location to delete. And we need to unwrap this and say city. So we just pass our city name here, and then we can take this and we can delete our location from our array of saved locations, and then we will save our saved locations into our user defaults. So I will say if, so we need to check if our saved location exists because it's an optional. Saved locations not equals to nil. Then I'm going to go through all the objects we have in my saved locations to see which one, to find the one that we want to delete and to delete that one. So I say for I in from 0 to, and it should be smaller, from our saved locations unwrap.count. So we go through all our objects inside our saved locations, and I'm going to say let temp location, temporary location, is equals to saved locations, unwrap this, and we need the object I. So every time we go through, we get a temporary object, so we get the representation I object from our saved locations, and we check if the city name is equals to the city name that we want to delete. So we say if temp location.city is equals to my location, is the city that we are passing here, remember? So it means this is the one we want to delete. So what I want to do is to say saved locations, and we can unwrap this and we say remove at, and the index will be I because currently we are looking at this I object all the time. This I is being updated. And once we remove this, we want to save our user defaults, and we want to return, so we want to return, we want to exit this for loop, because as soon as we find the city we want to delete, we don't want to go through the rest of it, because let's say our user wants to delete the first city and he has here 20 more cities. There is no point of going through all of them if this is the first one and we just found and delete it right away. Or if it's the second one, we go through and we delete the second one, and there is just no point of going through the rest. So once we remove this object, what we want to do is to update our user defaults. So I call another function, private func save new locations to user defaults. And this function will not take any parameters because our updated locations will be our saved locations global variable. Because here we just remove, and whatever is left, it should be saved to our user defaults. So instead of this note here, I can call my function, which will take and save my new user defaults. So let's go here, and we're going to write user defaults dot set, and we're going to set value, and my value, remember, we need to use our property list encoding. So we're going to say try, we say property list encoding, because we need to encode before we can save it. So say encoder.encode, the value is going to be saved locations, and we need to unwrap this, and for key is going to be our locations, because we want to keep the key same so we can always get and set the values. And we say user defaults dot synchronize, and this way it's going to save everything to our user defaults. So let me find my load user defaults. So this actually counts how many objects we have, and if we run now, we should be able to, actually we shouldn't, because we have no way to see how many objects we have in our table view. All right, so in our next lecture, we will start providing data information from our weather view here so that we can test our delete. So currently we have 6 objects in our user defaults.